I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Minutes approved.
I had DCAT yesterday. They were just going over budget stuff for the coming 2 years. And everything was okayed, and DCAT is still moving forward. That was going ahead.
I had public health, or Board of Health, I should say. It's kind of just a organizational type meeting. There's a lot of presentations on what they do for the new board member. Budget we didn't really get to just because it was kind of a longer meeting and a lot of us were called in, so we're gonna have a budget meeting separate from that in February. And I told them we might as well push it back anyways, just because we don't know what we're doing with insurance and stuff like that anyway. So instead of rehashing this, 5 different times, let's just put it back. So, and then I just wanted to briefly address some in communication, some things that are going on online. And I know many of you are aware of this, but let me just start with the policy that we have in our handbook and regarding social media. Employees may not use social media to engage in libelous, defamatory, obscene, or maliciously false behavior directed at the county, departments, elected officials, appointed officials, other employees, or members of the public. And there's been a lot of things that were said about me online. In fact, like some of them were about me being anti-law enforcement, which I thought was interesting. I did a tally yesterday of all the times that we as a board have approved Rob's requests. And that's one thing that I want to highlight as well. We're a board. All 5 of us vote on things. I'm not, I don't make a decision on my own. And 17 times I voted yes since I've been elected to our sheriff's request. It's been 3 times that I voted no, and it was the jail kitchen, EMA building, and the radio system. And other than that, I have voted yes for, civil deputy compensation, mental health liaisons, dispatch IFERS class, pay scales, open records, research fees, more wage scales, pay increases, donation of leave policies, increasing the jail hire, changing hours. There's been a lot of things that I have voted yes on. And so I'm just confused as to where that's coming from. And I just want to say it out here for the public, because obviously these things were said online in public about me. And so I'm going to address them here publicly myself. There's a lot of things that were said about me not giving, I'm not going to even say this, but I don't care about the county, that I don't have integrity, that I spew, we'll just say baloney instead of the word that was said. And I think a lot of us in this room can agree that I do spend a lot of time on the county, and this is not a cakewalk for any of us. It's not easy to say no. We do have to say no sometimes because we can't afford things. And I just think it's a real problem that we have employees that are publicly about me as myself. And I don't really care about myself. You can attack me all day long. But the problem is, who comes in here next? Who's behind me? Who takes the seat after me? And how are they going to be treated? How are they going to treat you guys when you guys say no to something? And I think that's wrong. And I think we need to set a precedence and nip some of this in the bud. What I would like to do is put it on next week's agenda for me to draft an email to send to all department heads, reminding them of this policy and asking them to enforce it. I think it's really important for the culture of this county and for the future, the precedents that we're setting. And I would ask for your support in doing that, because I think it's one of those things that if we don't do it now, it's just going to keep perpetuating. I've talked to other department heads in our county and asked, would you be okay with your employees saying this? And all of them said no. And I think that's a real issue that we're letting it happen. It's been happening for a long time. I've had enough of it. And I think we need to remind everybody what our policy says. That's it. Would you guys support that for next week or no?
Support what part of it?
Me putting a letter together to send to department heads for our approval to remind them of our policy and the enforcement of it.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
Somebody has a problem with the way we do our job individually, our numbers are on the face or on website page, they can call us and talk to us individually instead of airing it out on social media.
Well, I mean, the whole ambulance thing, obviously I was no against that, and there was a little bit of friction there, but I had none of those employees coming against me. How many times have we told secondary roads no? And they don't go crazy on Facebook on us, and, you know, I just think that this has been a little bit of a festering situation that needs nip in the bud.
I had safety committee and basically was just going over, the county did really good last year on having injuries. They didn't have very many, I can't remember the exact amount, but it was less than normal. So, and then he made these flyers to put up. So he gave them to all the department heads and Dan talked about demos with insurance, talked about how we're doing good, so that was it.
I just had an RGB meeting, met the new 911 coordinator, which we're gonna be voting her on the governing board later, but, trying to, see. They're gonna talk to Compass Memorial about with the new construction and stuff, the BDAs are the amplifiers for the signals, about what the cost is gonna be and who's gonna cover it, things like that, so. And they're just kind of in the planning, talking about when things like come up like this in the future, you know, who's gonna pay for what, and, you know, as far as getting coverage in some of these buildings, whether they're private or public, this is more of a, what should I say, government entity owned building, so it's a little different than maybe like a privately owned in the discussion, but it's just preliminary discussions about it. They're gonna have a meeting with the hospital.
Is it good terminology? Hospital?
What's that?
It's,
Yeah, it's owned by,
well, by the city of Marengo, right?
yeah, City of Virgo.
The building itself is, I believe.
Well, even the employees are under
Yeah.
papers, so.
I think it's because they're critical access. They're not owned by the government, but they're considered critical access, which allows for IPERS classification. They don't actually take any tax revenue. They are funded in themselves. 'Cause
Yeah,
they could levy, they could actually start levying for taxes, but they don't.
yeah, I know their funds are different. But anyhow, they talked about that, and then, with the radio upgrade and the equipment upgrades, some things have been ordered, some licenses have been worked on. Probably start working on dispatch councils in the spring, so that stuff's starting to get moving, so. But that was about all that came out of that meeting, so that's all I had.
I went out to the county home a couple times. We had a water leak, line break, and a boiler that quit working. All those problems have been fixed. They have to do a little repair work to the ceiling when the water came in. That was out of there. Dylan and I gotta go meet out there sometime with them to go over some cracked windows and some windows that can't get open to see if we can get that fixed for next year. That's basically, I think, all I
Have
had.
they turned the heat down in there?
No.
No,
It's really hot.
well, I suppose if they're, well, I mean, you don't.
No, they don't turn the heat down. There's some of those rooms, you go to rooms that are closed, it's like, oh my gosh, it's gotta be 85 in here.
So they're not heated like individual rooms, it's all,
There's a heater in each one, but I don't know if they're thermostated in each room. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Were you here for open communication or?
Yeah, I'm here with Senator Joni Ernst's office. I just like to come by the supervisors meetings in my region. I'm actually from the Cedar Rapids office, live in Cedar Falls, so just want to share my contact information. If there's anything in our office, can ever be happy to assist, and still remember you allowing us to do the town hall meeting over in the room over here. I don't think probably be a smaller, much larger turnout with everything going on in Washington, but the weather right now might keep people away. But I always appreciate everything you folks are doing, so
Okay.
pass things around. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I have your information.
Oh.
I'll save you the card, yeah.
is it Justin?
Yes,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
There you go.
Thank you.
There are no liquor licenses? Yeah, I'm gonna Hilton Township stuff. letter from Keith Steenerson. To whom it concerned, I, Keith Steenerson, would like to resign as Hilton Tub Church trustee as of January 1st. Sincerely, Keith Steenerson. I'd like to thank him for his years of service. Is there a motion to accept his resignation?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. He's resigned. We also received a letter for somebody who would like to have the spot. I damned hope I'm willing to be the Hilton Township Trustee Committee.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Appointment. It's always nice to have one fill spot. Lauren Montgomery, the new 911 Director, appointment to Radio Governance Board.
Make a motion to, well, maybe I shouldn't since I'm on it.
I'll make a motion to appoint Martin Montgomery to the Radio Governance Board.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Do you want to do budget discussion now, or you want to wait to the end?
I can go, I have a correction from last week, quick, about the valuations. The Department of Management stuff was conflicting with the report that I had, so I figured it out. We actually went up 5%, in valuations total, even with the rollback, which I was kind of surprised.
I was gonna say, I saw that we gained 60 million, not didn't lose.
Yeah, 61 million, yeah. And so that puts us in the 2% cap category, which I believe is about $89,000 more in the general fund that we can spend.
Yeah, that cap thing is just great. We can wait till the end if we want to have full in-depth discussions, if you don't want to take a break on and off from this. That's what we're gonna do. We need to figure out what we're gonna do, so people can start turning their sheets in, so we can figure out where we're going.
I did send budget worksheets, the email for everybody to submit them electronically.
Do you want to see it that way first and then figure out
The
if there's
Excel
anything?
format? Yeah, I do, yeah. Excel will be a lot easier on me.
So you want it that way at nothing, and then we'll figure if we can do what we can do from there. Because
Well, I think we need to probably have them put in no wage increase, just general increases in the budget.
That's
and
what I'm
then-
saying.
Yeah,
none,
and 4% on the insurance.
everything that we know.
Yeah,
So then with the insurance,
Yes. 4.1.
is that right? But are we teetering with the amount?
I think so, but let's
Versus employee?
do, I think just keep it the same for this first
See where
estimate.
we end up.
See where we end up, and then as we decide on raises, that's pretty easy to figure out dollar amount wise and to tinker with the sheets, you know what I mean? I'll be able to run some formulas, and then we'll be able to, then, I think, backtrack that portion. Does that make sense?
So that'd be pretty much the end of our budget discussion
I think so, because I don't have anything else.
until we get something back. And then if we put in a deadline, we'll come back.
Okay.
I've got 4 already, so.
Yes,
Next Friday?
let me say Thursday, that way it's. Yeah.
Yeah,
By Friday.
Yeah.
Or Thursday.
They should just pull that off, right?
I would hope so. I don't think anybody either understood or read my email that I sent.
Okay.
I told them to be working on the numbers that they could on the paper sheets. I don't think anybody did that.
If you don't give them a deadline, they'll drag on forever.
Same for repeat offenders, so.
That's what you say it. Phil Nicholas.
Good morning, how are you guys?
good.
Good. Good. All right, we have fuel bids for this year. 2.
Don't we normally have 3? Or do we only have 2?
Last year we only had 2.
Yeah,
They go out to Heartland, Multi-County, Victor, and New Century.
First one is multi-county. Gasohol is 12 cents over margin. Diesel's 12. Number 1 is 12 and number 2 is 10. Let me know when you guys are ready. DEF is $1.87. Premium, if needed, is 4 cents at the additive. Winter additive is a nickel.
Did they send for a fixed price?
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
Only one form.
Although I don't know if we want to fix this year. Although,
Yeah, seems pretty low.
yeah, that's what,
Interesting what the fixed price would be.
yeah, wonder if this one will have it.
Can you fix one? Can you fix like gas? You have to do them both, I wonder.
You can probably do whatever you want.
I didn't know, because diesel might go down, yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't think gas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, summer, you know.
Yeah, they said everything. There. This is New Century. This one's the margin. Their gas haul is 12 cents. Number 1 diesel is 11 cents. Number 2 diesel is 11 cents. DEF is $1.99. Premium additive is a nickel. The winter additive is 4 cents.
Well, did they get it fixed?
They get it fixed. Engineer several before you we didn't design anything.
Right, correct. We,
And a $500,000 bridge cost us $800,000 because we have spent it all on engineering.
yes, very much so. That's where we've been,
You know, it doesn't sound like we're saving money, but we save money by having in-house. If we have projects to do.
yeah, before we showed up, yes, your engineering expenses were very large.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But you know what, and when we submitted these, really thought we'd have Matt here to help do them. And then I knew when we lost him, it was like, ooh, you know, that's gonna cost us, by losing him, it's gonna cost us $300,000. We knew that, right? But it's gonna cost us 300,000, but we're gonna gain 2.5 million in grants to get it. So, but right now, we will see what happens with our offer that we have out there. Also, you know, I'm gonna maybe try today to talk to the DOT to move some more money around. Use some of our FM funds to see if it will pay for right away on here. I don't know if we want to do that or not, or use FM funds maybe to pay for our paint striping this year too. If not this year, I've looked at the budget, I'll need to start doing it in the future. But
Did we talk about the stop sign last week?
yeah, I brought it up. Did anybody go look at it?
It looks so wide open, it didn't go out.
Yeah,
Okay, well, let's put it on the agenda to actually have a vote concerning it.
A yay or nay?
Yeah. The board is the one that does stop. Well, I can do almost any signs by my personal beliefs or engineering judgment is what it's called, except for speed limits and stop signs. That requires you guys.
I'll try to run out there.
So if we could have that on the agenda for next week, or I'll send you an email. Yeah, no, I wasn't in any hurry to get it through because it was so wide open, but,
We haven't had any accidents out there, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Per the person, there's been close calls, but I don't know, no accidents.
Okay.
At least according to the DOT. And did meet with the DOT this week on their safety action plan, and we went through projects that we and some other things.
Any other questions for Nick? Thank you.
Thanks.
Stay warm.
Yeah.
Would you rather have this or a foot of snow?
Yes.
But it's not.
This.
I'd rather have this.
We'll have to, we'll have to shovel this.
Yeah, some people are like, oh, you're nuts, and I'm like,
You?
I'd rather have this than.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd rather
I
be my
hate-
sister, she's in Florida this week.
Yeah, yeah, can we really pick and choose here?
I got friends that go down to Gulf Shores.
I'm sorry. It's not gonna be that way next week.
I know it's supposed to be terrible, he goes, there's storms, so.
we can't do it. Thank you very much.
My other sister's in Arkansas, she said they're leaving a day early because they're expecting like a whole bunch of snow today.
Yeah.
There's a certain areas you're expecting up to 30 inches.
Yeah.
They're not
Good
used
for
to
them.
Can you imagine 30 inches?
They-
They don't get
We're
down
supposed to
there,
be going
down
to
there.
Tennessee driving, and I'm, so I
You're the boss, Kevin.
Before you tie
Good morning.
Good morning.
You guys all received my update. I did hear back from Brock on potential funding for the computers to get to be Windows 11. And they don't have money for that. It needs to be something that benefits all 6 counties, not just one, so.
There's a lady behind you, you can chew her out.
Yeah.
She holds the strings.
So anyway, so Brock did get back to me on that. No REA today, no school, so it's pretty quiet.
Are any buses out?
I got a couple vans out.
Do you check in on, make sure things are okay when it's this bad?
Oh, yeah. I just watch them on the computer
I'll
screen.
make sure they're still moving.
Mhm.
Good.
So. Other than that, nothing much going on.
Questions, concerns for the board?
Good news.
Anything else for us?
No news is good news.
No, well, I guess the one thing I do want to make sure we're good with the computer upgrade.
Yeah, because you could fund all that, right?
Yeah, I have money. Okay. Then I will proceed.
That's it?
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I'm ready when you're ready.
Okay.
No hurry.
No hurry.
Chris, did you want to do an outside building inspection today? Since
I don't care.
That's fine. We'll get Dylan out.
Let's just do a field trip.
We haven't done a field trip.
We haven't.
Let's wait for a better day.
Yeah, I should go check out the crack.
Well, I was thinking,
I'm going, yeah, you want to go over there after the meeting?
well, I was thinking that, you know, there's
I
some
got-
really,
I got
good
short
courthouses in
Oh, okay.
Florida, and probably should just, you know, go check out and see how we
I
compare.
want to go there and check it out.
Yeah,
See if there's any other.
Yeah, how are you?
they're good. Maybe one of those little treats.
Or maybe I'll contact Sean.
That,
about
you
it.
know,
Let's retreat.
yeah, let's retreat.
I'm going south. We want up to you.
Shakes over there or what?
I'm trying to get your attention. Who do I need to talk to? No one ever maybe thinking about my mural like Haunted Hills. Who do I need to talk to about that?
Jessica Walker.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Right?
It's Chris out there. I'm Karen Kurt. I'm the Executive Director for the East Central Iowa Council of Governments, otherwise affectionately known as ECCOG.
Temporarily.
Temporarily, yep, I'll be stepping down in April. And there'll be someone new taking my chair, but the wonderful staff like Deanna will still be there. So I just wanted to share hot off the press our new 2025 annual report that shows all the work that we've done throughout our 6-county region. And I think that most of the folks around this table have been here a little while. So you know that we serve 6 counties: Iowa, Benton, Washington, Jones, Johnson, and Lynn. And our role is primarily to do planning. Most of our staff are planners by background, but then also to leverage state and federal resources and bring them back to our region. And so on the handout I have for Iowa County, it just shows a glance of some of the projects that we've done, as well as some of the funds that we've been able to leverage for Iowa County. And we hope that folks look at that and think, well, yes, we're making a contribution, but that's really leveraging funds back to us. And I know county budgets are very tight, but I will say that the county contributions are critically important for a couple of reasons. One is that we immediately use those funds for a match for an EDA grant, so we double the funds. And then that actually helps us fund all the outreach that we do and the educational efforts and some of our grant writing initiatives. But then second, just standing our organization up is something that we can't typically charge back to a grant. So the county contributions that we get are less than 15% of our budget, so we're primarily self-funded, but that is a very important 15%. So otherwise, I know you're not necessarily interested in hearing from me, Deanna Sestar, today. But before I turn it over to her, I did want to acknowledge somebody in the audience here today. So we've got Tony. And we have a lovely plaque for Tony because he served 10 years representing Iowa County on our board. And as Kevin and Chris know, Kevin and Chris know, people come and go from our board. So when somebody hits the 10-year mark, it's special. And it's a small token of our appreciation, but we did want you to have this. And Tony was here when I started, spent 2 hours with me, I'd say, giving me a tour of Marengo and talking to me about Iowa County and some of the opportunities here. He served on our personnel committee for multiple years during a time when we rewrote the employee handbook, we set up our compensation policy, so some really heavy lifting, and I appreciate all you did during the time at PCCOG.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Thank you. And we want to step up photo when we're done here, so that's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
On to Deanna.
Good morning. My name is Deanna Robinson. I'm a housing planner at ACCOG. And following Tracy Achenbach's retirement last summer, I've had the opportunity to serve as the Housing Trust Fund Director. As you may be aware, we're one of 27 housing trust funds in the state. We're funded through the real estate transfer tax. The Iowa Finance Authority appropriates funds to the housing trust funds through a grant that we apply for each year. This year we were eligible to apply for a little over $440,000. It requires a 25% local match, which this year was a little over $110,000. So we're asking Iowa County for $3,900. That is the same as we requested last year. We know budgets are tight. Our budget is holding steady, so we're trying to do the best we can to keep that low. This year in Iowa County, we paid out $48,000 to 3 households through our FHLB home rehab program. We also paid out almost $70,000 to the Victor Senior Housing for rehab that actually started in 2024. Upcoming, though, we have 2 very exciting new programs. The first, we were able to leverage $20,000 with a $20,000 local match from the Housing Trust Fund, over $200,000 in funds from home, which will be used for down payment assistance for 5 homes in the region. Then through our partnership with ECCOG, who actually wrote the grant for the head lizard reduction grant, we were able to get a $3.1 million grant, which we had a local match of $300,000. $100,000 of that came from the Housing Trust Fund. Those funds will go to homes with children where the children have been identified, hopefully through your public health department, as having too high of lead levels in their blood. The HUD funds will be used to remediate the lead. The $100,000 match from the Housing Trust Fund will be used for other things that we might encounter when we do the inspection. If they need a new roof, they have plumbing issues, foundation issues, things like that. So we'll be able to combine those funds for houses in Iowa County and hopefully get that lead taken care of, and then take care of a few other rehab issues that they might have in some low to moderate income households. I included the data in your packet that we used to secure that lead grant. I hope you'll have time to look over it, because you'll know how important the work is after you've read those figures. The program also will train about 10 contracting firms and about 30 workers in lead hazard safe practices and certify them. So it will also go far to make sure that workers in the area aren't creating more problems when they go into a home to do some minor repairs or rehab work. Any questions?
Ignorance here, but the lead, is that just lead paint?
Mostly it can be trim around windows, but it's paint, or paint and windows mostly.
And that means they hate it?
And it can be doors. It creates dust over time and,
Just leaving it in.
yeah.
It's good, how many kids are eating lead paint?
Yes, it's a concern in any homes, built before 1978. And it's, and you can see in the statistics, quite a few of the homes in our area were built prior to that time. And no amount of lead in children's blood is safe, none. And as you can see, the numbers are pretty high. Iowa's one of the worst in the country. And that's attributed to our aging housing stock, and potentially because we don't always understand when we make that situation worse with minor rehab issues in the home. So hopefully we'll make some improvements. That is program, by the way, will run through 2029, and we estimate that we'll help 90 homes. Those will largely be in the rural areas, which is different from us. Most of our rehab programs end up being more focused on the urban areas, but for this program, we know that most of the need is in the rural community, and that's where the funds will go.
So what do they do? Just paint over the lead paint?
Um,
Can you seal it or you have to strip it?
They seal it. You know what? I'm not very well versed on the remediation part.
Just curious, I guess, sorry.
But that's okay. When we start rolling this out, we can make sure that we kind of detail a little bit about what the remediation will include. Yeah, because ECOG, most likely Paula Mitchell, our housing director, will reach out to your county health department to begin working with them to identify the homes. Because they have to have children present, so we'll be addressing the ones where they've identified kids that have lead. But we can include in some of that outreach efforts some more details on what that includes.
How do they find out the kids have lead?
It's routine testing. I believe, I know it is routine testing. Children are supposed to be tested before kindergarten in the state of Iowa. You can see if you look over the data, it turns out not quite all the kids are actually being tested. Unfortunately, I don't know how they're slipping through the cracks.
I didn't know they had to be tested for lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do it when they're in school.
Yeah.
It's just a blood test then?
Yeah. And unfortunately, right now, when parents are told that their kids have positive lead in their blood, they don't have any resources. There are no resources available until now for them to get assistance on what to do in the meantime. We provide them with information on how to keep the dust down until we can do some remediation for them.
Just my ignorance, I didn't know it was that big of a problem.
I unfortunately read through the data when you have time. It almost made me cry. It almost made me cry. Yeah, it is a serious problem here. So.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's for $4,000, we get a lot of money out of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a great investment for Iowa County. That's for sure.
We appreciate the support from Iowa County every year.
We like to support everything you do for us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Is there a motion to,
I'll make the motion.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. To approve the request.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming down on a blistery day.
Yeah, I had to low tire pressure light draw that this morning. Because machines don't like to work when it's this cold.
Right,
I swear that machine was taking air out of my tire. Lord, photo op here.
10 years on the board? Yes.
Okay, HOC.
Just want it in front of the board of supervisors, so we're working on flags.
I don't know, but you tell us, Lauren.
Lauren? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was a vice
Yeah,
Vice President.
yeah.
You're talking.
Yeah, it's called handicap.
Let's stay at the here.
There's something else, different meetings at different spots. Yeah. I'm bummed out about that. Thanks for
I
bringing
got
that up.
pictures of everybody when you were here, so I should.
Oh,
I didn't.
Not today, that one was a sweatshirt.
Oh, goodness.
You like the other one better?
You didn't get to choose.
Next week.
Yeah.
You didn't tell us. We didn't get a choice.
My dress down there, but this way, we so cold.
40 times.
Five or
I
something.
feel slighted now.
I didn't even see
Remember the school pictures of them?
And then there we go.
I look like the meat guy on the board, make people scared.
I can send you some AI photos to use.
I told her not.
Yeah, I'm sure you could change your picture.
I got a good one for drawing, good pictures that you can use. Oh, I have some good ones to use.
It's AI, it's not good.
Thanks. I don't think I got that.
Probably has a whole folder full
Yeah.
for different uses.
Okay, that's pretty good. Never heard that. Okay, ready to move on? Sure.
See.
What?
Yes.
Oh, Laura, you ready?
Okay, yeah, sure, whatever's on the agenda, I just.
I didn't know if you had more people coming or you ready?
Take one down, pass it around.
Pass it around, I heard that.
Do you have any questions about the
that
committee
like
that you
on
volunteered to be
Pastor
on? or
around the fire?
do you wanna be-
Voluntold to be on?
Yeah, call and ask.
Well, I was asking about the commitment level, just because, and it sounds like it's over Zoom, so I do want to bring it to my board next week, but
Okay, Karen can ask any other questions you have.
I can answer all the revolving loan fund committee, yes, review board, that's something that I was.
She's our possible replacement.
Okay, wonderful.
All right. So I'm just giving a little bit of a recap, and I try to keep it very simple, as far as just like, I don't want to overwhelm with data. I have a lot to support it. And but anyway, view all of these bullet points is kind of the tip of the iceberg, but I'm here in your community. If you ever have any questions about anything, obviously Abby sits on our board. She's very aware of what's going on, what we're doing, but I'm always happy to sit down with anyone or visit here. But I wanted to start with, I think the biggest thing that I've seen is important is bringing in funding to the community. And in 2025, basically Iowa County Development, myself as a employee of Iowa County Development, was awarded $241,272 in grant funding. So that's one of them was for a private business. Most of them are nonprofits. There was a government agency, but that's the money that we're able to bring into the community. And that actually is holding steady from last year. That was almost exactly the same amount. I try to trend upwards, if not stay, plateau it, but you have to be realistic too about, what's available, what you can get. I think at the end, I applied for did 9 grants that were successful, but I'll get to that in a minute. But do you have any questions about that number? I'm pretty happy with that, considering the projects that I'm getting. But I'm always, you never know, you could get a pretty large grant next year for whatever it might, this year, for whatever it might be. But my job is to know what my projects are in the community, and then are there any pools of funding that we can either accelerate it or get it going at all. So,
And you had one catalyst grant that
okay,
you got, but then they backed out, so.
yeah, and I always kind of debate, do I bring that up? Because technically, we got a $100,000 catalyst grant that ended up not happening. And that wasn't really anything we did, as far, it was an unforeseen circumstance from the business owner. So sure, that actually could go down 100,000, so 100,041, but I still want to highlight what could have been brought in. And again, this happened 2 years ago when I applied for a grant for a business owner. We got it,
And then through life circumstances, he could not go forward with his project. And so we ended up losing that. So that's kind of the gamble of this job. But I still think 141,000 is probably better than nothing. So
Is there a confidentiality thing that could we find out who you've helped?
sure.
Does that make sense?
I mean, that's up to you guys. I don't know how much you're recording, but $25,000 was for Millstream Brewery at it was a Choose Iowa Value Added Grant. 20,000 was for the Marengo Trail. 20,000 was from the Williamsburg Trail. 5,000 was for the Pickleball Club. 5,200 was for the Gateway Improvement Group here in Marengo. And then North English, there was the 12,101 for their trail in North English. And then, of course, the 100,000 Catalyst. So I think that there's like a $2,000 one for Marengo Trail as well, but I think that captures the majority of the funds.
But see, it shows that you're not focusing on one area.
Right.
That's what I want people to know, that it's
Gotcha.
not just
Okay.
one spot.
Right.
Not all Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Not always, right,
Not one
absolutely.
town.
Right, right.
People don't always know that.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. Thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, no, it's all around, and I would say the majority are for nonprofits, but that's because the majority of grants tend to favor nonprofits. But I mean, we've got government ones and a couple of the for-profit. I actually am in the process of another for-profit business right now that I just submitted for the Choose Iowa. So that's actually county, so that might be of interest to you, but I haven't gotten that yet, so I don't want to talk too much about it. So anyway, that kind of gives you a sampling. I'm pretty much, all of these represent all of our communities. Victor was the only one that I don't have a lot of, but we're trying to change that because we now have we're going to add a city clerk from Victor. So hopefully we get them more to the table. So anyway, moving on, Iowa County Facade Sign Grant. That was actually something new that we rolled out. We had some extra money and interest, and some of our golf tournament or some of our fundraising, like our golf tournament, we were able to kind of collect like I think it was $10,000, and then offer this sign and facade grant to our businesses. And I'm just rolling that out for the second year because it was so successful. So we chose 3 projects, and 2 of those actually happened. One of them unfortunately did not happen, but we're rolling that money that was not used over into this next year. But kind of a cool byproduct of that is we had 10 people apply, 10 businesses were like, yeah, we want to do some improvements to our exterior or our sign. And we only chose 3, but of those 10, I want to say 4 or 5 actually completed the project. So I think we're encouraged, and that was just something I wouldn't have foreseen. I'll talk to my board about that, but there's something about just when someone's like, oh, there's money available, I'm going to do this work, I'm going to get my estimates, I'm going to get my design. And even when they're not awarded, they're like, well, I've already, progressed this far. What's, a couple thousand into it. And that was a little bit surprising to me, but I think that also shows that there's value in encouraging businesses, because we can get so, head down doing our thing, and then, not realize like, oh, maybe I need to, freshen up my sign or do some changes to my exterior. So anyway, just freshen up the downtowns. Connecting the other value that my role, I think is important and I've seen it more and more over these last 3 years that I've had this job, is just connecting in the communities. And I'm regularly in each of our main communities, Amana, North English, Williamsburg, Marengo here, every month. I mean, at least for, an ACC-VV meeting over at the Amana Colonies, or the Marengo Development, or Marengo Trails, or, those types of meetings. In North English, I actually lead it because they didn't already have a group already established. So, but that's been good though, because you just get a pulse of what are the needs in your community. And so when you find out, oh, there's a trail need, well, here's a pool of funding that we can further that along quicker. So I think that's a very valuable part of my job, is just being in each of the communities and kind of being that connecting of the dots, which is, I think, very valuable. And then just having that point of contact for investors on that fourth bullet point, I guess. I often get people who are just like, I have this job, is there a grant for that? Or, there's a daycare or something like that needs help with some things. I would say the amount of times I'm contacted continues to like probably double every single year. I don't know how sustainable that is, but either way, I often get people who are just referring to me just for help as far as usually funding. But I think that's been also very valuable. And then I'm glad that my ECOG ladies were here today because I regularly am contacting them about questions and they're giving me resources, you know, things like that. I was just emailing today with, there's a legislation day, February 11th, that, you know, the ECOG brings to, or well, actually that's Cedar Rapids Metro, sorry. That's another partner though. But oftentimes, even with Karen, with that, I have a lot of questions for her at times. So that's been very good, and I learn all the time from them as things change. They kind of are more up to date with things at times that I can't keep up with, and so they are good about communicating that to me.
I would just chime in that we have noticed a huge difference having Laura as an asset here, because then as we're trying to push information out, we've got this one point of contact that we can use, especially when there's a sense of urgency behind it, because we can't always count on our city clerk still in our stuff, unfortunately. But anyway, sorry.
That's good. And speaking of that, I sit on the East Central Iowa Housing Trust Fund, which is what they were kind of talking about. The trust fund gave money towards this project, but it's always good for me to know what are the projects going on in our region. And even recently, there was a housing project that the city of Washington has done and has used housing trust funds. And then, so then when I'm contacted by a school in our community, which just happened a couple weeks ago, I was like, well, not only, you know, is here's some resources for that, but, you know, it could potentially be a East Central Iowa Housing Trust Fund, you know, project that, so those are just things. And the superintendent was like, I had no idea that those funds were even available. And so, you know, those are just good things of being kind of interconnected that you can start to work more efficiently and just provide people with resources. So I just think that's also very important. And then I'll end with funding as well. I think I applied myself. That's been part of my job that I didn't realize was going to be such a need is, you know, I can tell people about the grant or opportunity, but who's going to write that grant, you know, and that has been a valuable part that I've been able to save businesses money because I've been able to do that myself. And so that's an area of growth for myself personally that I think is valuable to this organization. So like I said, we had 9 successful grants. I think I wrote maybe close to 14 or 15. So that's a still pretty good success rate. But again, I know that depends on what the year it is, what the competition is like. So anyway, those are kind of just the samplings of what I have been doing and kind of the value that my job brings to the organization. And then my current projects that we are looking at the very bottom there are trail projects. Like there's 3 in our main communities. So Marengo, Williamsburg, and North English have all had trail projects that they're raising funds for. The daycare, there's been actually several daycares that have reached out because, just so you guys are aware, that I was surprised at how many of our daycares are operating on a deficit. And so, I mean, that's a problem that we're looking at. I know, I mean, I guess it shouldn't surprise us, but it I guess surprised me a little bit. A lot of them have been used to the funding that they have gotten kind of post-COVID, like the ARPA funds or some of those COVID dollars. And now those are kind of, they're seeing that run out. And so they're trying to scramble and figure out how they can change things. So we've just been talking through some solutions that way as far as fundraising and rates and things like that. So anyway, then residential expansions. I mean, that's something that we always want to keep growth happening with our housing. And I even had a conversation with a mayor yesterday. We were kind of talking at what price point do we try to put in. And so there's really good conversations happening about just housing. So downtown spaces, I mean, that's always something kind of on my mind of how do we fill out our downtowns so that, you know, we don't have wasted space. I mean, this is kind of cool, right? I had 3 people in January contact me about the Catalyst. So we only were able to do 2, but that is a project that, again, we are continuing to push because those have been very good in Iowa County. Williamsburg has gotten 4 of them, and Marengo has gotten one. So that's, those have been a good incentive from the state to encourage business owners to do something with that vacant space. And as we see it, there's still so much room there to improve, and then just attract new businesses. I think just having a steady person in this role, and even our board, having that steadiness has, I think, also encouraged people to invest more. And so I think that's another sort of like intangible value to our organization and what I do as well. And then as I'm gonna be focusing more on this is strategic planning, and that is just something you hear about, but then I'm seeing it more and more. And what I mean by that is there's a lot, I mean, we continue to get data that the baby boomer generation are leaving. And what's happening is they're just shutting their doors. I mean, I could probably list off several where they didn't have a plan. They're using their space downtown for storage, or they don't really have, it's kind of like, well, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but encouraging those business owners to either have a plan to, have someone succeed them afterwards so that we don't just have vacant space. So yeah, those are just conversations that I just, through meeting your business owners, you're starting to find out, like, wait, you don't have a plan, and your business is now vacant there. What are you doing with that? Well, I haven't really thought about it. I mean, that's just a surprising thing for me, but I mean, it's also just something that I'm aware of and working to address. So anyway, what do you guys have for me? Any questions?
Well, I believe you stepped in this job with not much framework to go by. You've done a great job of growing it, reaching out, and making it your own. I just think you're doing a pretty good job. You're getting the grant money in, reaching out to all communities, not focusing on one, but the whole county as a whole.
I think that's a very important part of it, is it encompasses the whole county, so we do a wonderful job of that, so.
Or English didn't really get a lot before, and now.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, there's stuff happening there. I'm very excited. I think 3 years ago, I was like, oh boy, like start the funeral service for North English. And now I'm like, wow, we're back at a revival, I think, anyway. So
I can tell you're more comfortable doing this because you're much more talkative than when you first started.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is also very true. I've had to kind of
You're pretty quiet.
into that. I know, that's true. You got to see my growth in this as well, so.
Yeah, you can just visually see improvements in the communities.
Yeah.
Marengo, North English, particular, I mean, just the signage and storefronts and
Yeah.
everything.
So if you do make that decision about the revolving fund, I think it'd be a great fit for you because of all the interactions with.
Were you trying to butter me up? That's what I'm hearing.
How's it working?
No, I'm open to it. I'm still just part-time. I don't think I maybe mentioned that, but
If nothing else, you're well aware of it.
yes, very well aware of it. Yep, and I actually recommend revolving loan funds to a lot of my businesses, especially with higher bank interest. I mean, I didn't realize there are so many pools of funding for low interest rates for kind of expansion. So definitely with our teleco companies has been a big deal. I think
You have no exciting new businesses that you can tell us about,
probably not at this point.
but there are some that you just can't tell us.
I mean, there's expansions happening.
Okay.
I wish I could say there's like a big manufacturing company coming in or something like that.
Just
but-
curious.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on that. I mean, those are kind of those, and just so like, before I close here, there's kind of two parts to economic development. There's like the micro, little things like the signs and, the little things, the paint, like making your community trails, things like that. And then there's kind of those macro projects, like bringing in a new big business or making a large expansion. And
Well, we struggle because we're labor poor.
because we're labor poor. Yeah. So anyway,
We don't have enough laborers to bring somebody big in, per se, right? We have more people coming in the county to work.
depends on how big you're talking about, like a big manufacturing
Yeah.
company. Yeah, I mean, that would have to be, Cedar Rapids is experiencing that too with their data centers, right? I mean, you guys can attest to that, right? There's
Well, generally in Iowa, there's a labor's tight, and especially I think in our rural counties, labor force is an issue.
but I think there's always gonna be solutions, and we maybe won't get the huge company, but maybe we get a couple of the smaller, So those are always things that I'm kind of looking at, and also like, where could it go? I mean, those are conversations that we're having, like Alliant Energy will send, request for proposals, and, here's what we need. We have a manufacturing company, do you have a spot for it? And right now, I mean, we're ready for maybe one in Marengo. But there's still, I mean, that's just a hard thing to put in. We have the land, that's the good thing. I mean, Iowa structure is not there, it's expensive. So I don't know, we'll kind of see how that plays out, but we're still I think a good place to have business, but you're right, there's always hurdles. So anyway.
Any other question for Laura?
And lastly, have you guys heard of the sign replacement grant that's like, it's for counties and cities? I wanted to at least bring that up.
Yeah, she
She did, okay, good. I wanted that to at least be known, because it's super competitive, but it's still, you are replacing signs throughout the year. And it's an opportunity to be reimbursed for those, but it's super, super competitive. Like one of those, like we're at 9 a.m., you have to have everything ready and pushing submit kind of a thing, because I think in like 7 minutes, all of the funding was like, it's not one of those, like you have a 3-month window. It's like which I had never heard of. That's like,
It's like trying to buy concert tickets.
yes, exactly. It's like Taylor Swift or something. I don't know. But anyway, well, feel free. I have my contact. That's my cell phone. That's my email. Like, if you have anything that you want to talk through, I feel like most of you I have talked through, even if it's a Dennis Quaid inquiry from Kevin about things that are going on, please feel free to let me know. And then obviously Abby's a good resource as well.
I'll be on family vacation next week, so I won't be there, but if anyone else would like to go to my place, you're more than welcome. So
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, we meet the 4th Wednesday of every month at 1 p.m. at the Outlet Mall. So you are welcome to come along. You got it. I always bring treats.
I was gonna say, there's usually treats.
Yes. So, all right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Day one.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's have to put my car on.
These, I don't think we.
You did it, Rich? Because it's diesel, I'm scared it's not gonna start.
Yeah.
I did my remote start this morning. I was wondering what time was here to start.
My car's in the heated garage.
Well, that's, I haven't.
No, let's get aboard that.
Yeah, I'm the one that makes the house big. Might be a fraud. Could probably if I move some stuff around on the other side, but
Yeah.
Well, we're still playing tonight. Superintendent just texted me, saying, you're playing. What? We're still playing tonight. We're going to BGM.
Superintendent, same as
How are you?
Randall's. Yeah. Is he leaving or what's the story? I didn't know, I just got the
We
text
were
from the
just a
school.
few minutes
Yeah.
early.
Everybody down there, like,
Really?
We got a little hour this summer.
Yeah. But is that, I mean,
I don't know.
people are giving him crap out of the.
Guys, hold on a second.
We had a phone call?
Is everyone super warm this morning?
Right now.
for now,
Yeah, inside we are.
Now, okay. Today you have on your agenda is a resolution to approve the distribution of the preliminary official statement document. We went over some of that last week. This is that formal action to approve that preliminary official statement document, which then allows us to begin disseminating it out to potential investors. And from another update standpoint, the county did receive its rating back yesterday, and then you were affirmed at your AA3 rating with Moody's. And they noted from a financing perspective, they were very pleased with the things that you can control, including your management policies, how much cash and liquidity that the county currently has within its general fund. And so I wanted to say congratulations to the county on your management of finances and give you that quick update. If there are any questions on that preliminary official statement, I can answer that today before you consider the resolution. And then I can just give a quick update on the next steps for the financing.
Any questions? So I'm going to read this out loud, just pass it around easier. What can change between the preliminary and the final?
Really what will change is the final number. So on that first page, you'll see the, the par amount of the bonds, and it'll show each of the payments. So based on the interest rate, to keep that even payment, those numbers might shift a bit, a little bit here and there. And so we'll have those final numbers in there. And, if there's any, if we receive any direction from, the board that there's some sort of typo or anything like that, that we can correct that. At this time, it's, all of the financials and everything, those should be, pretty set in stone, good to go, but, when it is finalized, we'll put final numbers in there, and disseminate it out.
Okay, is there a motion to approve resolution 2026-01-23, approving the distribution of preliminary official statement?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Second.
Roll call, Deegan,
Aye.
hey Susan,
Aye.
Moss. Nay. Meyer,
Aye.
Montrose.
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution 2026-01-23, approving the distribution of the preliminary official statement has been approved.
Great. Just to kind of give you an update of, what happens next, since you have received the rating and the official statement has been approved, Northland will be taking these bonds out into the market on Thursday next week and getting a contract together with committed investors. So you'll be locking in that interest rate on January 30th. So, everything is kind of up, has gotten you to this point where we're able to take out the market. You'll be locking in interest rates on January 30th. Assuming that the board approves that resolution, then everything that you've done yet to date will be put into a resolution for February 13th, which is the issuance resolution, which basically puts it into a legal form. The board does approve that, and then that gives you the clear to close, and we have that planned for March 3rd. Exciting meeting coming up next week. I do plan to be at that meeting in person to kind of go over those details of the interest rate and those, the final numbers for you with those committed investors in hand.
Okay.
Greg?
Hey, how's it going?
I was just actually waiting for Heidi to come back on.
Hello?
Hello? Did we lose you? Heidi?
That's weird.
Hello?
Not for her, she'll answer that call.
Kurt?
Whoops.
Oops.
Sorry, Heidi, I just hung up on you. Yeah.
I don't think she was done.
Guess we're done.
You want me to call
I mean, you did. I think we're done. Are we gonna have anything for next week's meeting? That's
her? Just my email listed out for your guys' approval. I'll bring it or send it in advance.
the under general fund.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under other.
that, ending area stop sign issue.
Possible, Laura?
Yes. The letter and the bond purchase contract.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned.